you guys having a good time so far?
Yes.
At Downpour? So good. So we'll just start off by, I guess, introducing ourselves for people that don't know who we are. So I'll go first. My name is Emma.
Hi, Emma.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. So I'm from the Gold Coast. I go to a church called Highway Church, which is funny because when I started coming here, I said I was from Highway, and they're like, "Oh, you're from Kingaroy, are you?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not from Kingaroy. I'm from the Gold Coast." But yeah, shout out Highway Churches, I guess. Eh? You must go there, I'm assuming. Come on now. So I play keys.
Yeah,
the keys player. Put your hand up if you're a keys player. Come on now. So I started playing keys when I was about 13. So any 13-year-olds in this room? I was this age when I started playing.
Gang, I'm 16.
You're 12.
I do not believe that, bro.
You're 12, yeah. You play piano?
Come on.
Yo, let's go. Come on now. So I started playing when I was about 13. I joined my youth band at church.
Come on.
And when I joined, there were actually no other youth kids. It was just me and a bunch of youth leaders. But we're so blessed now, our youth band is, I'm one of the only youth leaders now. It's kind of swapped the other way around. And I started playing a church band when I was about 15, I think. So I don't know if you guys at your church have,
I was 12.
but you might have a youth band and a church band, or you might not even have a youth band at your church. But at my church, we have a youth band and a church band. So yeah, and then I also MD as well. We'll talk a little bit later about what that is and what that sort of role is. But I've been doing that since I was 15 as well, and I'm 21 now for reference, so not but getting there. So
I was gonna say that. No, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that.
Yeah, I had to say it before you said it. I'm not using level up. All right, that's me.
I'm Pace. I play drums and sorry.
I thought it was good.
Let's get the lollies after, gang. Let's get the lollies after.
Who plays?
Who just threw those lollies? Yo, you're allowed. Sorry,
Who
Pace.
plays drums here? So I've been playing drums since I was like a little kid, probably like 2 maybe. And then
Oh my gosh,
growing up
Diya,
was
go
kind of just
home.
like on and off drumming here and there, but always loved it. And then I moved to Gold Coast and then started playing at youth and church when I was 15.
Yeah.
So I've been playing for nearly 4 years now, so I'm 19 and yeah, it's the best thing. I go to Elevation Church in Gold Coast, so yeah, it's amazing.
So if anyone haven't met you yet, my name is Joel. I worship here at Downpour, worship me at home and stuff like that.
Yep.
Which is very fun, singing and everything. I was going to say singing. That's the wrong word. Singing. But yeah, what's my journey? I think I first learned. I started off with the guitar. I first learned the guitar. I was 7 or something. I was having lessons, and then the guitar teacher said, "All right, now it's time to learn chord F." When he said that, I gave up. I was out, and then my brother continued. And then I was just learning stuff at home with him. He was teaching me how to play Wake by his song and whatever. And then we got to grade 6. I started doing some. Actually, in between that, I learned trombone.
Oh wow!
Come on.
That's as my brain. But I picked up the guitar again in grade 6. And then, like, my first night of youth, I got put on the guitar, got put on at church, and this was playing every Sunday. Some of you guys might know those vibes, and like, you know, you're at church, you're pretty much playing every Sunday, especially when your parents are pretty much pastors. But I played every Sunday, and I pretty much just learned on the job, and I was just learning and just teaching myself at home. And then now I'm here doing this stuff.
Awesome. So good. So to start off, I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of a rundown of our team and how we're running things here at Downpour, because I know different churches have different sort of setups. We've probably got a big range of different size churches here. So yeah, this is guys, this is the stage, this is the setup. Love it. We obviously have Pace on drums, we've got Maya on bass, me on keys. This year we have 2 guitarists. We're going to do a Q&A at the end, by the way. So if you've got questions, write them down and we'll answer them at the end. We have 2 guitarists this year, which is, I think it's the first time, maybe, having 2 guitarists, maybe or first time in a while. So that's super cool. And then we got Joel, worship leading, obviously, and then we have the 2 girls, Talita and Lily, BBing and singing as well, which is super cool. And I guess setup-wise, we have in-ears. We're running in-ears here. So put your hands up if you use in-ears and packs at your church.
Is that one? Yeah.
So put your hand up if you don't know what I'm talking about. Awesome. I'm going to tell you what I'm talking about right now. Could you grab a pack and some in-ears?
Yeah.
Thanks. So, if you don't use in-ears at your church, you're probably using like speakers on the stage, or maybe you even don't even have speakers at your church. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe you do. I don't know. And that's how you hear yourself play, right? So you can hear the singers sing through those speakers, and you can hear the piano and whatnot through those speakers. But we actually have these things. So everyone has a pack. Everyone has one of these little things here. And basically you plug some headphones in. These are, we call them in-ear monitors. They're basically just headphones, like with the old aux cable. So it goes in like this. Everyone has one of these. And what we can do is through our headphones, we can hear everything in our headphones. So we are able to change what we can hear in our ears. So we usually just call them ears. So if I'm saying in our ears, I'm usually talking about these headphones. So we're able, each of us are able to hear something different in our ears and be able to mix our ears to what we need, if that makes sense. So as a keys player, I might want more keys than the drummer. And then doing this is really cool because it allows us to do 3 things that you can't do if you're not using in-ears. Number 1, using a click or a metronome. So we actually have this thing that goes
Yup.
like that. So the entire time we're in worship, we have that going in our ears. We can hear that. And that basically helps us to keep in time. So I don't know if you guys have ever played at your church, and if you don't use a click, you might find that you might speed up in some sections and slow down in some sections. We basically have this click, and it keeps us all in time because we just play along to that. So it allows you to use a click. It allows you to have an MD, which is what I do. So as you can see on the keyboard, my keyboard's out there. I've got to save it from the dust. Oh my gosh, why have I got it like that? I've actually got a microphone over there. And you might have noticed me talking into the microphone and been like, why can't I hear her singing? What's going on? So the way that microphone works is that only the people that have packs and have headphones can hear my microphone. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that means I can talk just to the band. So it's not coming out these speakers, it's just coming to the band. So it means I can do things as an MD, MD stands for music director. So I'm directing the music. So through these headphones, I'm able to tell everyone where we're going in a song, different things. I'll go into a little bit more detail soon about that role. So yeah, the other thing that in-ears allow you to do is use tracks. So in our like Planet Boom praise songs, you might hear there's like some crazy sound effects going on and like crazy sounds coming through. In those praise songs, it's not all us. We also have tracks playing in the background, so some more music playing along with us. So because we have that click, we're able to play in time with those tracks. So in-ears are super, super cool. They're super, super helpful. But I've been a part of some worship teams where we haven't used in-ears too, and you can still do incredible, amazing worship without in-ears too. So if you don't have packs or in-ears at your church, don't be discouraged. It's not a necessity, it's just a really cool tool that we use to help us. So yeah, that's in-ears. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Awesome. Maybe while I'm on the topic, I might actually go into a little bit more detail about MDing now. So we are going to go over different sections, drumming, worship leading and whatnot. So if you're a singer and you're like, oh my gosh, she's talking about band so much, stop it, we'll get there. Don't worry guys, we'll try and cover a lot of bases. And we will leave time for questions. Let me take a breath, guys. Let me take a sip of my energy drink, hey?
Glaze, bro. What glaze is that?
Shut up, Oxy Shred, hey. Something I will also say now, and I'll remind you guys at the end. Our team that comes out, we come out because we want to serve you guys. We want to serve the regional towns, and we just love doing it. So, and we want to be here as well. We want to help equip you guys too. So just know, every single person on the worship team, we are here for you guys. So if you have questions, or you want to ask specific questions to a specific person on the team, like, do not be afraid to come up and ask those questions, because we actually want to meet you guys. So if you've got specific questions for the bassist, or about your tone, or you want to learn about my key setup, like, come up and ask us. Like, we would love to hear questions and whatnot too. So, MDing 101. Let's get into it straight away. So, music directing, and also things that you keep in mind as a music director. If you keep this in mind when you're just playing your instrument, you'll also get really good at playing your instrument. So, I think the first thing to note when you're playing in a team in general, let's go to playing in a worship team. Whether, heads up if you're a muso, if you play an instrument. Cool. A lot of people, hey, crazy. A big thing to note is that when you're on this team, all right, we're not doing, if you want to play covers and you want to show off your skills on your instrument, that's not what this is for, hey. If you want to show off your skills, start a band, start a cover team. What this is about worshiping God. It sounds simple, it sounds basic, but it's so easy to lose sight of that when you're going, we'll answer questions at the end, okay? It's so easy to lose sight of that when you're on a stage and you're on a platform. It's really easy to forget it. So you've got to keep the heart of it, keep the center of it. Like, we're here to worship God and serve God, not here to serve ourselves. So man, praying is a big part. Being a worship team, would you say? Praying and just getting back to the heart of it, of what it's all about, worshiping God. So that's important to remember, because when you're playing on a team, it's not about you, right? It's about God. So what you want to do is be a team player and basically work as a team to be able to worship God and to be able to lead people in worship so they can, worship God as well. Yeah. So it's really important to work as a team. So Joel, have you got any tips about like working as a team, listening to others? What do you have to say?
Yeah, just as everyone was talking there, I was just thinking on some stuff that we can even ponder on. I think everyone here in this room is creative. I mean, if you're here, you love music, which means you're creative. And I'm creative as well. So I think as creatives, we really have value on our ideas and the things that we come up with our brains, because we're creative. That's what we do, right? And it's like it's almost like what your idea is almost like when a painter paints something and puts it in a museum, like it's a prized thing for you. But when you're in the context of like a worship team and a worship band, it's important that as creatives that we don't hold our ideas above the chemistry of the team or the direction or the vision of what your church is doing. Yeah. So like what I mean by that, I'm just be going simply, like simple terms. Like you may have an idea that you want to do like a certain song or play something in a certain way, and then maybe your pastor or your youth pastor, youth leader, or a music director says, "Oh, hey, I love that idea, but we're not going to do that tonight." Like, I think in a cool assessment we can do in our hearts is like, okay, if that does happen to me, if I get a no from my idea, what's my heart posture to that? Like, am I now, because I've got a no, do I feel like I've been personally attacked by that no? Or do I feel like my idea wasn't good enough and stuff like that? And and if you feel that way, I just want to let you know that this is not a judgment, this is not a criticism. This is amazing, because now we can actually recognize that there's a spot in our heart that we can allow God to minister in and help us to grow. So in working as a team, we're going to get so many times where we have a great idea. Like we make jokes sometimes when we're back at accommodation. I have an idea. God, like I have my toothbrush in my mouth, like I'm brushing my teeth. I usually get ideas when I'm brushing my teeth for some reason. And I get ideas, guys, let's do this. And it's like, no, Joe. Like, and it's like, okay, you just gotta keep a smile on your face and keep on moving. Just keep on going. Because the ultimate thing is you're working as a team of people. So sometimes your ideas are going to work. Sometimes your ideas aren't going to work. But the ultimate goal is, are we moving together? Are we flowing together in a vision? And if young people and people in your church are encountering the presence of God and they're being ministered to, then to be honest, it doesn't really matter if we couldn't or could not have that idea, because the main thing was completed, that God's name was lifted up, His presence was there, and so that's my thing. As creators, don't make an idol out of your creative ideas. I think that's the point from that, I guess.
So good. And I think practically, what that looks like practically when you're on a worship team too is you can actually apply that to when you're playing, or when you're singing as well. This goes for BBs as well. So when I'm on team, I'm not just listening to what I play and what I'm doing, I'm also listening to other people as well. Like, a massive skill developing on a worship team is your listening skills and being able to listen to what other people are doing. Because if you've got the keys players doing this goofy line, the guitars player is doing a goofy line, the other guitar player's doing this, the drummer's doing some other whack rhythm, it can just get really messy. Have you guys heard that before? When there's a lot of people playing something and it's like, oh my gosh, what is going on here? It gets pretty crazy. And here's something to note too, like, you might not be able to control what other people are playing, but you can control what you're playing. And so for me sometimes too, like I will be on teams serving at something and everyone's sort of doing their own thing, going crazy. And so rather than me trying to step in and play what I want to play, I might actually just play super simple. Even though I know I can play lines or whatever I want to play, I might just go, okay, the guitar player's really doing something here, the bass player's doing something here. I'm actually just going to sit back and just play really simple chords, just so that I'm not getting in the way. Even if they're playing over my piano part or whatever, I'm going to sit back because I don't want to get in the way of creating more noise. But then when you're working in a team, and I think that's what's awesome about our team, our Downpour team, is that everyone is listening to each other. Every single person is listening to each other. So if I feel at a moment that I want to play a particular keys line or something, I know that if I start playing it, the boys on the guitars will give me room to be able to do that, you know? Or if a guitar player is playing a line, like Eddie is playing some really cool line, I'm going to sit back so that Eddie can play that line. Or at least play something that complements what they're doing.
No mention.
And this takes time. It takes time working with other people and, playing your music. It takes time to learn that. I think also listening to songs, when you're listening to your worship songs, listening to just beyond your own parts too. Listening to what the guitar's doing and thinking, if I was playing along to this song, how would I complement what's going on here? Hey. So how do you pace, when you're on the drums, how do you go about applying that to, like, listening to what other people are doing?
I think, like, first of all, obviously you get sent out a set list before you go to, like, a camp or something. So I'd say definitely, like, practice your parts and get them set and, like, make sure you feel, like, super confident about it. So, like, when you do rock up, you feel like you can just play anything, and then that way you just feel super confident with how everything goes and how the set goes, and it just makes it way more easier, and you can listen to the MD more and then what the other people are doing on guitar and vocals and stuff. So I'd say definitely lock in on your parts and get them down pat.
That's so important, and something that I've been told growing up was that you should learn your parts to the point where like you know it so well that's like sort of like second nature, like the way that you're playing, which it takes a long time. Like, as I said, I started when I was 13. I've been in your shoes where, like, if you're just starting out, I've been in those shoes, don't you worry. Like, just trying to, sometimes I'm like, how can I listen to other people when I can't even, like, I'm stressed at just playing on my own. Like, it just takes practice, a lot of practice. It takes a lot of time. So don't feel discouraged, but it's something to work.
Like when we were practicing, we were having problems with, like, the tracks and stuff. So we were doing the whole song without tracks, without any guide too. So we definitely locked in on all the parts, and we knew the whole song just with a click. So
So especially if you don't have in-ears or you don't do tracks at your church, like learning your parts and the structure of the song, super important, super important. And I guess, Joel, maybe can you speak a little bit on listening as a singer and how you sort of do that.
Yeah, I think the contrast between BVs and I guess a song leader and sometimes like learning your team, their tendencies. So that takes time, takes proximity, just having that relationship and knowing them. So I even know back home in Rocky with my team back there, like they all know my tendencies and I know their tendencies. So for example, sometimes I might a lot of times I might allow space for the congregation to sing, to respond in the song. So that might look like me hopping out of like the first line or the last line of a section of the song. So my BVs understand that when I'm doing that, I'm not like saying let's stop singing. I'm creating space for the congregation to also now take a step forward and lead themselves. And so the BVs, instead of stopping to sing, they'll just keep on singing strong so the song keeps on moving. So as vocalists, we can learn our team members, learn their tendencies, sing with them. Let's not super practical ways. Like think about because melodies have rhythm. There's a rhythm to your melodies as well. So and rhythm is like 70% of music, right? And so as singers, we can lock in together in a rhythm. So like if our song leaders are singing a song a certain way, as BVs, let's lock into how they're singing, how the rhythm of how they're singing. Are they stopping now? Are they still singing now here? Like we're locking in with them so that it's painting that picture of unity, and the sound just goes from like a 5 to a 10, when like the vocals are all locked in together. So I think having that listening aspect for vocalists is just get to know your team members' tendencies, talk about it together, talk before, talk after. Oh, hey, you did this in this session today. Like, would you prefer if I sang it like this way next time? Oh, no, I like how you did it then. So now you know what I mean? So instead of having to guess, you're just having that open conversation. Oh, hey, would you like me to do this, do that? And as you guys build relationships, you just be able to gel some more. So yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Awesome. That's so good. And I guess while we're on the topic of singing too, we'll come back to MDing. I know someone's going to talk about it, but sort of went off the rails there, but that's all right. Would you be able to talk a little bit on singing, I guess as a vocal team? Like what's the difference between, I guess, a BV versus like a song leader, and also like a worship leader?
Yeah.
Like what's the difference between, I guess, a backing vocal or a worship leader?
Yeah. So obviously, very simple term, like you bring it down to something simple. The worship leader, I guess, is the person that's leading the song leader. Then the BVs are backing that worship leader, what they're doing. So, it might look like sometimes like the BVs will always do harmonies most of the times. Worship leader might not do as much harmonies when they sing their song, in case they want to do something complicated, but usually they'll stick in the melody and the BVs will support them. But did you want me to talk about also like the spiritual side of worship leading? Yeah. I think there's a big difference between, I guess, the term like a song leader and a worship leader. Because when we're worship leading, we're not actually just like singing karaoke, or we're not just singing a song from start to finish, or trying to hit our notes. All those things are important. Hitting your notes right, that's so important, because like it's pretty hard to worship when someone's flat and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So all those things are important. But the biggest aspect of what a worship leader is it's so spiritual, guys. It's so spiritual. You look at the Bible. When the Israelites went out to war, they would send the musicians out first. They send out the worship leaders out first. So there's something spiritual that you're doing when you're worshiping. You're actually taking the people from this place to that place. And there's so many elements to that. So what that looks like is before your Sunday, or Sunday or Friday service, have you prayed about the set that you're about to do? Like, have you talked to God? Like, oh, hey, God, what do you wanting to release tonight? Are you wanting to release like joy? You know, we want you to release like a reverence of your Holy Spirit, like just being aware of what God's wanting to do. And then now when you get into your Sunday service, now you're pumped up. You know what God's wanting to do. You've spoken with your youth pastor, your senior pastors, your campus pastors. Hey, what's the service looking like? What are we wanting to do today? You're pumped. You're ready. Now there's not the blind leading the blind, right? Now when you're worship leading, you're not getting into the presence of God. You're already in the presence of God. You're not leading the congregation to the presence of God. So as much as when you're singing and stuff like that, as much as hitting your right notes and all those things are so important, 100% important, the other side of that is the spiritual element, in that you're leading people into the presence of God. So you're 100% leading and you're 100% worshiping. You're 100% vocally singing and all that, and you're 100% spiritually aware. So that's sort of that dynamic of worship. If you've got questions, I know that's very broad. If you've got questions at the end, we can talk about that. But yeah.
Awesome. And I love that you touched on the spiritual side of things and preparing spiritually. So, Pace, I'd love to hear, like, how do you go about preparing for a worship set? I guess, like, spiritually.
For me, I think before just praying, and when I see I vision myself stepping out of the flesh and into the spirit, and I think that helps me a lot, and I just try and focus on Him. That's less of me and more of Him. It's not about, the fills that I'm doing or the cymbal washes or whatever it is. It's it's about Him. So yeah, just definitely praying. Like, my prayer is like, Father, would you anoint me, and would you equip me, God, for what I'm about to do, and would you use me as a vessel, God, for the congregation. And I think just definitely praying and visioning yourself stepping out of your flesh and into the spirit.
Yeah. Awesome. And I think sometimes we forget that being on a worship team, there's so much more to it than just playing an instrument or singing. There's so much, if you want to be a really good team player in a worship team, there's so many other things you need to think about too. I think a really important thing that I want is having a good relationship with your team and building rapport with them. Because I don't know if anyone can relate with this, but I know, like, for me, like, when I've played on worship teams and there's people that I don't really get along with, or they sort of act differently on the platform versus when they're not on the platform. It can be hard when you're working as a team to worship with them, because there's not unity there. And the Bible literally says unity commands a blessing. So it's so important to have that unity in your team. But you yourself can control how you treat others and the rapport you have with them. It's super, super important. And especially, like, for me, like leading this team, like, if I was so rude to these guys off stage, or if I was like snapping at them at different times, like, there would not be this unity on this platform. Hey, we would be able to worship in sync. So it's so important. Like, if you can think right now of your worship team at your church, and there's people that you don't know, I understand being on a church worship team, there can be massive generational gaps. Like, you might have old Gary on the drums, who's like literally a 70-year-old. But we've got this universal language that is music and worship, and even if you just even just knowing their names, I think it's super important. Hey, knowing the people you're working with, is super, super important. So on that, let's talk a little bit about MD and about sort of leading from that band side. Hey, so question, have we got any MDs in the room? Who are MDs here? We've got a few, so we've got about 3 MDs here. Put your hand up if you want to MD, if it's something you would love to do one day.
If I knew more.
So we've got a few people. If you're in a dream world and you had that MD role in your church, like, would you want to do it? Like, awesome. And if not, like, as I said, there's things that apply to MD that can also apply to just playing. Hey, so if I say anything that you can apply to, like, other instruments or drums, like, I'd love you guys to jump in. But yeah, MD. So here's the quickest rundown ever of what an MD does. Basically, How it works is you've got your worship leader and your MD, right? And this is the way it goes. First of all, the preacher is in charge. The preacher comes first. What the preacher wants, well, obviously, first comes God. All right, we know that. First comes God. First comes the Holy Spirit. So we want to be in tune with what the Holy Spirit's doing. But when it comes to people, it first is the preacher. Whatever the preacher wants, we are going to listen to them. We're going to work with them. Second, worship leader. They're the one leading worship. They're the one, actually leading worship. So what they want, our job as an MD is to just facilitate what the worship leader and what the preacher wants. So MD, even though I'm the one with the microphone telling people what to do, I'm actually not the one making the shots, calling the shots. It's sometimes there are times where you have to make decisions on the fly and call things, but you're working with your worship leader, to do that. So it's really important as an MD, and this goes to on a team at all. Like your worship leader, you want to listen to them and work with them too, because sometimes you got to trust them too.
Could you share that story from last year of me and you?
Go on.
So, because me and Emma have only played together, I guess 3 times and stuff like that. Of course, the only 3 times.
We only play together here.
Literally here. And so last year was our second year together. So we built some relationship and stuff like that. And so with that worship leader and MD dynamic, we're able to trust each other and trust each other's decisions and what we're thinking. And that goes to what you're talking about, relationships. But so in this instance, we were on the last night and we were having, people were getting prayed for, having a moment. And I was worship leading, singing through a song. And this is where relationship means everything. So Emma had an idea, hey Joel, let's go into rest on us. And so I heard that, and then at first I was like, we can, maybe not now. I just said, not now. And she said, cool. And she was okay with that. And she said, okay, cool. She trusted that decision that I made. And then I just kept on going and said, oh, hey God, should we do that? In my brain, I'm thinking, rest on us. Should we do rest on us? And I was like, and I just felt in my heart, just go with it. Let's do it. So then I would turn back to him. I said, let's do rest on us. Let's do rest on us. She's like, yeah, cool. And we launched into it, and it was almost like there was a definite increase in the presence of God, or people responding to the presence of God in that moment. And that was through relationship and trusting, and in that both roles were in tune with the Holy Spirit and what He's wanting to release. Emma heard from the Holy Spirit. She went through the flow chart of everything. Worship leader, can we do this? Worship leader said, okay, let's wait. Hey, Holy Spirit, is this something we should do? Yes, let's do it. And we did it, and unity, and we partnered in it, and bam, you saw the fruit of that. You saw the fruit of that instantly, so yeah.
Yeah, and I think that goes to show, if the Holy Spirit, if we want unity and God wants unity, the Holy Spirit isn't going to tell 2 people to do 2 different things, right? He's not going to make us clash. So it's our job to make sure that we're in the right place and that we're being led by the Spirit. I can't control whether the worship leader is being led by the Spirit. I can't control anyone else. I can only control myself. Yeah. So important. If you are in tune with the Holy Spirit and you trust that the other people in your team are in tune with the Holy Spirit, there's going to be unity there. Hey, so that's super, super important. And I guess so as an MD, basically I'm calling things I'm saying, okay, we're going to go into Thank God I'm Free, key of D. 1, 2, 3, 4, go into the song. In worship songs, or pretty much in all songs, unless we're using a track, because in our track as well we have a guide, so we have this lady that goes chorus, verse. So
intro, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, so I don't have to call all the sections, which is handy, but for songs where we're just using a click, I have to say in the microphone, verse. Or we're going to go into the intro here. So I'm basically just guiding everyone throughout the set, or I'll say, okay, we're going to go into this song now in this key. Does that kind of make sense? Yeah. So sort of just guiding people of where we're going. But before this, I've worked out with the worship leader what we're doing, where we're going. And what the worship leader does, which your worship leader probably does this even if you don't use it, is hand signals as well. So I find that every church has different hand signals, which is pretty wild. I think I vote we make a universal system. Come on now, but at least at my church this is chorus, right? Show me bridge. What's bridge at your church, guys? That's bridge at your church? Guys, this is bridge at my church. This is bridge for Joel. This was actually bridge for Joel first, and I told him that's too similar to chorus, so I made him change his hand signal. This is bridge. That's crazy. This would be verse at my church. We have these goofy hand signals, like this is pre-chorus because we just didn't have a hand signal for pre-chorus, so we decided to just throw up shuckers if we want pre-chorus. What else? Like tag. What's tag for you guys? Tag. Yeah. Clock it. Yours is this. Yeah. At my church it's this. So as long as like at your church, as long as you know what your signals mean, like it's fine. It's, you know, every church has different hand signals. So as long as you know what the hand signals mean at your church, you're chilling. And so a big important thing, and I do this even when I'm not MDing, is always just keeping my eyes on the worship leader. Always, 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 always. Doing things like watching for hand signals, or they might also call like picking up the dynamics. So how loud we're playing, how much we're playing, or dropping it down. That's really important. To always keep your eyes on the worship leader to see what they're doing, which you would be doing on drums too, hey? So what I'm also doing is watching their body language too, and actually listening to their voice too. I have the worship leader pretty loud in my ears too. And I guess this is important if you're a background vocal too, or you're a singer, because we might be, as a band, we might be up here, we might be playing super loud, like Pace might be having this full rhythm going, but if Joel is like singing really loud and then he starts pulling back a bit, but he hasn't called to drop, I can tell that because he's singing a bit quieter, he wants to bring it down. So then we'll bring it down because he's sort of pulled back a bit. Does that make sense? Or he might be like, if Lily's leading, she might be like jumping up and down and then she stops and she's a little bit more. She hasn't called to drop, but I can sort of tell by her body language and by her voice that that's where she wants to go. So if you don't do hand signals, whatever at your church, that's something you can do as well. So that's super important. But for me, when I'm MDing, what I do as an MD, I call things in, like set in stone if I've set it in stone with the worship leader, if that makes sense. So if we know the structure or the chorus and whatnot. But if we don't and we're free flowing, I ask where we're going. My calls are more questions, and then I wait for an answer. Because I found if I call something and it's not what the worship leader wants, it's not good. It's not good, guys. So we want to be in sync with the worship leader. So instead of saying bridge, I usually go bridge, and they know, and then usually I'll get like a head nod from the worship leader. So, or do you want to go to the bridge? Do you want to go to the chorus? And just over communicating things too. Joel, want to go to the chorus? All right, guys, chorus. But usually it's less talking than that actually too, because you don't want to like distract people as an MD. Your job is to help them, not to get in the way. So even there'll be times where like, especially for ministry time, I might not talk for like a solid 5 minutes because everyone's just flowing and doing their own thing. But sometimes I know I've worked with teams where I actually have to do a lot more as an MD because people don't know their parts, they don't know where they're going, and I have to communicate a lot. I might have to call what lyrics someone's singing. I might have to call the section, I might have to call the chords too. I don't know if you guys have ever been in that situation where you have to be like, all right, D, A, B. Sometimes you just got to work with your team as an MD. But I find actually what makes a really good MD is working with those teams and communicating with those teams. I learned so much more MDing at my second church location, which is smaller and has less experienced musicians, than I have anything else. It really helps you work with people and have patience. This goes to any member of the team, all right? Your attitude is gonna impact the rest of the team, okay? So if you've had a bad day, sorry, you've either gotta take some deep breaths, pray about it, and put a smile on your face, or you've gotta talk to your leader and say, I'm having a really bad day, like, does that make sense? Like if you're in a bad mood, it's actually gonna drag down the rest of the team. You guys have ever been in that situation where someone's like really in a bad mood and you sort of get in a bad mood too? So it's really important, like, you know, pray. Like we have things that we go through in life, but when we're worshiping, that's what's the most important thing. And we have a God who lets us hand over things to Him, okay? So I think that's super important too. I think I've sort of covered what an MD does.
Yeah, I just thought also quickly when you're talking about how you're calling, asking those questions, that's like for your song leaders and worship leaders, that's also, then it's our responsibility to be on top of our, like our musical stuff, so that as worship leaders, we are thinking ahead. So we're not thinking what note, what section am I, the chorus right now. I'm thinking about, okay, well, I'm in this chorus right now. Are we wanting to build? Are we going to do this chorus again? And so that when Emma goes, hey, chorus again, I'm like, I already know, yeah, that's what I want to do, yeah. So just practically, you know what I mean? Knowing your songs, knowing your lyrics, knowing your songs super well, so that you're not just stuck in the section, but as a worship leader, leading people to the presence of God, you're thinking 5-10 steps ahead, and you're able to communicate with your band if you don't have your MD, or you're able to communicate with your MD.
Yeah, that's so good. So I think like if you're going to take anything out of this, it's listening to other people and watching keeping your eyes on what's happening around you. 100%. And something I want to quickly ask Pace is guys, this is my first time playing with Pace. I literally met him on Friday, which is crazy. But something that I really admire about your playing is the way that you're so sensitive to what's happening in the moment, and how even in the MC spots, the MC will start getting passionate about something and he picks it up behind it to build. And it's not in a distracting way, it's in a way that really complements what's happening. So how do you do that? How do you do that?
Well, I think over time, like, it's just a lot of practice too. Like, I mean, playing your Fridays and Sundays like youth and church, like I've learnt all that just from Sundays, playing at church and stuff, and following ministry moments and learning from other drummers as well. So I think just, yeah, I don't know, just like be aware to what the Spirit is doing, and if you think playing something there might, you know, lift it up, do it. Like, if you just send it, see what God does, and I think, just a lot of practice.
Yeah, for sure. That's so good. Anything else we need to cover before we move on to Q&A? Let's have a quick thing, guys. I literally thought of something and then I forgot it. I should have written it down. But that's okay. All right. Oh, okay. I got a question for you guys. When it comes to, and I'll answer this question once you guys have done, but really quickly, as a vocalist, as a drummer, what is something, if you were a teenager and you were learning that thing from the start, what would be your biggest tip? Like, what is the first thing you would learn first, I guess?
Come on, Joel.
Look it up.
As a vocalist,
Some foundational skills that you would learn first up.
Oh man, I think you can actually learn confidence.
Oh, okay.
I think you can learn confidence. Like, I think sometimes maybe you might think, oh, I'm not extroverted, so I can't, it's not my nature. But I think you can actually learn confidence. Like, sometimes, as if you worship with us, just get in the mirror, pretend you're leading some people, and just go through a song and give yourself a go. Like, come on, people, why don't we lift your hands? Come on, just learn confidence. That way, when you're on here and you feel God's like, hey, you're sensing in the room that there's a ceiling. We need to now encourage the people to push past that ceiling so we can really step into all God has got for us. You have the confidence to go, come on, guys, let's lift our hands. So come on, sing a bit louder, and you're able to lead the people in confidence. I think as a worship leader, song leader, as a vocalist, I think you can, at an early stage, the quicker you can practice confidence, the better it is in the long run. Yeah.
Awesome.
Still trying.
Well, I can go then. Well, you think if you want.
Yeah, you go.
So, the reason we've got Pace here is that, as you guys would know, drums versus playing a rhythmic instrument versus playing a melodic instrument. So something where you hit do 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 versus do do do. I don't know, that was a really bad explanation. I don't know why I had to do that there, but does that make sense? It's actually really different. So for me, I guess I'm representing that guitar, keys, bass world. But for me, what I tell all of my guys at youth, the most important thing to learn first as a musician, you're gonna hate me, but scales, guys, scales. Let me tell you, You need to learn your scales. Hands up if you know all your scales. 2 people. Now listen, this is your goal. You want to learn all your scales, guys. Why do you want to learn your scales?
Creates opportunities.
Because I'm going to say a bunch of stuff, and if you don't understand what it means, just feel free to ask me.
I don't even know what scales is.
Yeah, so you need to learn your scales so that you know what notes are in the keys that you're playing your songs in, right? So if we're playing a song in the key of D, and I know every note that's in the key of D, I'm not going to actually hit a bung note because I know what the bung notes are, right? So scales are super important, and then from there, you can learn the chords in the keys, and it really helps you build your musical knowledge, and it also helps you build your technique, right? If you learn your scales with a click going and a metronome going, it will help you be able to play in time. And for me, playing piano, I'm able to learn that like thumb under technique that I would have learned if I had learned classically, but I didn't. So scales, super important. And then from there, learning your chords and all your keys, and then for people that are at this point, like learning the number system, super, super important. So,
Number system.
And there's heaps of resources about that. If you don't know what that means, I don't know, should I explain what it means a little bit? Okay, basically, there's resources on YouTube. It's a little bit of a complicated thing, but musos, here we go. The number system is basically, in a key, there's 7 different notes, right? In a scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I just think it went 6, 7 in a worship session. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
She's 21.
And that applies.
21, by the way. 21.
Yeah, 21.
pushing on.
Listen, guys. But basically, each of these numbers can apply to a different note in the scale. So if you're on the key of C and your scale is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, those notes are the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and so on. So each of them has a chord that responds to it. And basically that allows you to play any song in any key, essentially. Because when you learn a song and a progression, you're learning that it goes to the 1, the 1st chord, the 1, then to the 4th chord, the 4, the 6th chord, and then back to the 4. So if you're at the point where you're confident in your scales, you've been playing for a while, and you want to get really good at your instrument, learn the number system. Learn it, and then you know how you get really good at something, guys? Teaching other people. So if you are confident in these skills, go back to your church, like learn these things yourself, and then teach it to the other people in your church, for sure, or even just one person. I don't know if that makes sense. So, but first scales, okay? Great.
I reckon, like as a drummer, I think definitely learning how to stay in time with the click. Because as a drummer, you're the backbone. You hold everything up pretty much. So I'd say lock in with the click and learn, like practice at home or wherever you practice. Like put a metronome click on and just play like a random beat and just try and stay in time. Because I remember when I first started playing, it was like horrible. It was so bad. I was off time all the time, and then the worship set would go really bad, and then Lockie Holmes would come up to me and he's like, "You need to work on your click, mate." No, but yeah, just like learn to lock in with the click, and it helps so much. That's probably what I'd have to say. Just the click, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Well, now we're going to go into our Q&A. Now it is 3:30, so technically our time is up. Is it okay if we do Q&A now? Awesome. So let's do it. My homie, you've got our first question. Just yell it, all right? What's your question?
So I got 2 things. One quick question. Yo, Joe, with that F key, I reckon all guitarists should learn it first because then you know you're up against them.
Hey.
Wait, say it one more time.
With the F key, like the F chord, sorry, I reckon all guitarists should learn that first because then you know what you're up against.
Good idea.
Valid.
And also, when you're playing the piano and you're speaking at the same time, it's like, you know, memorizing all the notes of the song. Like, how often do you stumble when you're like speaking and asking questions?
That's a really good question. I'm going to be so real. It does get tricky talking and playing at the same time, but I actually play. If you're like Keith Grover, who knows Keith Grover here in this room? He is insane, and he he's very, very good, but he's able to play because he's very, very experienced. He's able to play and talk at the same time and not have any issues. Me, I haven't been playing for as long, so I do actually struggle sometimes if I'm playing something really complicated and talking at the same time. So I actually play differently when I'm MDing versus when I'm not MDing, believe it or not. When I'm not MDing, I don't have to focus on leading the band, I can just focus on myself. So when I'm MDing, I actually play simpler. So this is not my best playing because at the end of the day, it's not about me and showing off. It's about, I'm the worship leader, I want to work with the team and work with them. And then I will make sure that I talk when I'm not playing something complicated. So like setup, you know the intro and it goes do 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 do. When I'm going, okay, I'm going to go to the verse, I literally go, I can't go do 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 and say verse at the same time. I have to go do 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 do. Okay, verse, and it might be really early, but it's just because I can't do it both at the same time. So I just call when I'm playing simple, and sometimes that means just playing simple when I would play complicated. Yeah. What's your question?
This is a question for all three of you. I'm just wondering, have you ever played any other instruments or wanted to play any other instruments?
Yeah, I think Joel's a good person to go first for that.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, you guys see worship lead, play guitar. Back home, I go between a lot of playing drums and worship leading, stuff like that. So I do those two. And then obviously with guitar, you've got a bit of bass and a bit of guitar. If there's an instrument that I really want to be able to play, I can play keys, but I can't play keys like Emma. So if there's one thing I really want to be able to do, is I want to be able to play keys like Emma does. So yeah.
I just play drums, Well, if I was to learn something else, probably like acoustic guitar maybe, and maybe worship leading. Like I wouldn't mind that. I think that would be pretty fun. And or bass as well.
Yeah,
Love the bass guitar, come on.
Speaking of bass, I used to play bass at youth actually, back when we didn't have bass players. So, and I played drums once, and I'm actually starting to sing now at my church. So, yeah, that's me. My homie in the back, yes.
So as a musician, it's good for all of you. So how often do you go to other music genres to expand?
Oh.
Okay, he's putting up balls.
Good question. So how often do we learn things from other music genres outside of worship to expand our skills? I think Case is a good...
So real, I don't. I just play worship music, that's it.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool how you do that, bro. Like that's definitely a tool. Like I think, well, how for you guys, maybe if you don't do that, that can be also like if you ever. Sometimes you get, maybe you guys might agree. Like sometimes you might feel like you hit a certain spot where you just kind of plateau in your music skills, and you kind of don't practice because you can just get by with just doing it because you've done it for so long. But then when you push yourself to learn another genre, like Gabe was saying, then you kind of break that plateau and you're learning jazz, you're learning whatever it is, R&B, some different genre. Then you're now learning new things, and then you're pushing yourself, and you're not plateauing anymore. And I think then that affects also how you perform at worship team and stuff like that.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about worship is that it's actually like worship music. It's just music about God, the lyrics. So actually, worship music is such an expansive genre on its own. Like the difference between like circuit riders music I've learned recently versus like Bethel, even so different. Like so even like just even listening to other types of worship music, I do that a lot. Like I'll listen to like gospel, whatever, to try and grow too. But it is like learning other genres too can really help too as well. And when I was in school, I did music class, even though I didn't really enjoy it because it wasn't worship music. But I learned so much doing that and learning about jazz. I'm not a jazz musician, but I've learned a little bit here and there. So, who's my homie over here? Yes.
How would you start a band?
How would you start a band? Like a worship team? Like, okay. How would you start a band? Joel.
If you find that you've got some mates that you find some mates, go, hey guys, you just want to let's jam together, something like that. Just have fun, build a relationship, bro. Find some friends, because we're talking about worship team, stuff like that. A lot of the biggest element, you know, what Emma was talking about in worship team and in bands as well, is relationship is key. So build a relationship, hang out with your friends, then maybe you go, hey guys, we're gonna have a jam session on this day and we're gonna jam on this song. So everyone, let's practice this song. And then you come there and you guys play that song together and you just keep on playing together. And yeah, you got a bit of a band there, and then maybe the school might have a band showcase and you can play. And yeah, but build some relationships, stuff like that. Yeah. Cool.
Now, does anyone over here have their hand up? Because I feel like I've just been looking over here. So I'm going to go with both you guys and then come back to you guys, okay? So, yes.
Yeah, like with the worship leader, when you're talking to the MD, are you physically or are you just flashing by
I'll say there's three things. So one, this is what we're talking about with the signs. This new sign, right? Two, sometimes I might, if it's depending on what I'm trying to pull, sometimes it might actually mean that you might have to turn around and go, and you know,
And that I could like, mate. Oh, let me tell you, it's so hard.
I mean, it is tough, but you know, sometimes you gotta pull it out. But sometimes, if it's really important, then I might have to, you know. But then that helps when you do the pre-talk and the post-talk, and then you guys kind of get your okay. Then there, another way, you know, like even as you're singing, like sometimes you just might notice me, like I might go like. I might lead in, like I'll say, hey, we're gonna sing, yeah, I might say the line of the next song. Sometimes I do that because I'm also now leading the congregation, but sometimes I'm actually doing that so I'm communicating to Emma, oh, we're gonna do this again, you know what I mean? So
Sneaky. So when he says, everyone sing the word of God, it's like, oh, okay, right.
I'm revealing the playbook today.
There you go. What was your question?
For bass, when you're on the drums, how can you hear the audience and like know when everyone's clapping and all that? If you've got the earbuds, can you still hear?
There's ambient mics, eh?
Not here.
Not here. Well, I don't know, for me, I can hear the crowd super easily because you guys are so loud.
Yeah, come
It's pretty easy to tell, like you guys are pretty loud, so it's, yeah.
What he was saying, at our churches, we have these microphones actually set up in the room, and in your ears, you can actually mix how much of the room you want in as well. So, but whatever you do, if you use in-ears, listen to me right now. Do not have one. Maybe it's different for vocalists. If you're a muso, do not have one in-ear in and one in-ear out, okay? Because I used to do that and I thought it was strats, bro. I genuinely have hearing damage in one of my ears from doing that, and I have to make my whole mix move a little bit to that side. So don't do that, okay? Let's go for my highway gal, and then yeah, we'll do a few more and then we'll wrap up.
I like it totally.
How do you deal with the presence of God when you guys are on the stage? You can't really express it.
Like how do we try and see like the presence of God?
Well, how do you guys feel it? And how do you try not to? I don't know.
How do we feel the presence of God when we're playing, when we're doing things? Really good question. Really good question. Everyone, the cool thing about God's presence is that it's there all the time, right? There's different types of God's presence. I'm sure you can ask your pastors about it. They can explain the manifest presence of God and all that stuff. But God is always with us, hey. And if you know that when you're worshiping up on this platform, God is there with you. But for me, it's sort of inviting the Holy Spirit to play through me. I'm praying all the time in my set. Literally all the time, like, what do you want to do, God? Where do you want to go? Like, literally, I will literally pray that in my head. But, you know, before I go, I ask God to actually just, like, play through me. I don't know if this is really answering your question, but I've actually had times, no joke, where I'm not in control of what my hands are doing. My hands just play, and I'm like, why am I playing this right now? It just sort of happens. Because because I have prayed and asked. I've actually had prayers. I go, God, take control of my hands, and you just have your way, and it's happened, and it's crazy. But that's because, you know, also I spend time every day with God, and I have my own personal relationship with Him, my own devotion with Him, and I think that's super important. Like, if you want to know the presence of God when you're playing, you need to know the presence of God in the secret place, hey, and in your own time, hey. You guys got anything else to add on that?
I think something real cool when you think about that. Like you look at if you guys know the story of David. David was a shepherd, and he would play the harp when he was when he's in this field. So he actually was practicing the presence of God. He was in the presence of God. It's part of his nature. Because that David was a man after God's own heart. And when Saul calls him, Saul is being troubled by spirits. He says, "Send for me." They get David to come in, and whenever David would play, the spirits would lift off Saul's life. So when you're playing, you're not just playing something musically, but that's why your question is amazing, because we all got to realize that we are playing. We're also 100% playing and 100% worshiping. It's both. It's both. So it's not at one stage now you're just playing, and one stage you're just only worshiping, but you're doing both at the same time. Yeah.
Cool. We don't have heaps of time left, so what we're going to do is I'm going to ask my homie here, I'm going to ask my homie here, I'm going to ask my homie here in the white shirt, and then if you have questions after, you can come.
Yeah.
But we'll try and be brief with our answers, so we're not taking too much time. So what is your question?
How do you recover when you play a note wrong or something?
How do you recover when you play a wrong
That's
note?
better than my question, jeez.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm looking at Pace here. Pace doesn't play, but I don't know if Pace plays wrong notes. What would you say?
Are we talking about notes?
Like, if you play something wrong, how do you recover?
Ooh.
For me, I'll jump in and then you can answer. For me, I guess practically just taking a deep breath. And sometimes when I first started, I would stop playing actually, and then because it's really easy when you stuff up to really get in your head. Hey, you guys had that when you stuffed up, and then you're just like, oh my gosh, I've ruined it, and then you're thinking about your stuff up. For me, sometimes just taking a deep breath, resetting myself, and just keep going. And something major to know is that if it's for God, and if this worship is for God, it doesn't really matter if it's important to bring your best for God, but if you stuff up and you're thinking, oh, what are people thinking? It's actually not about that. It's once you get to the point where you hand it all over to God, if you stuff up, it doesn't matter what people think. I played a wrong note, but I'm not going to get in my head about what people think, because it's not about that. It's not about who played. It's about God. So, what did you say, Pace?
You answered that pretty well.
Great. I took Pace's job. I'm so sorry.
I've got it.
What was your question?
I reckon they're lying guys talking. So, who chooses the songs you guys play and why?
Come on, good question.
So for Downpour Camp, if you saw context to your church, so this is all in the context of the church you're from. So yeah, maybe your worship pastor is choosing it, or your worship person. But for us, for Downpour Camp, me and Emma, with Leader as well, we were working on this song set list. And so how we did that, obviously we just know songs, but I think the primary thing of what Emma said is we're coming here to serve what's happening here. We're serving you guys. So in our thinking of the songs, we weren't thinking, what song is really popping off right now, or like what song has been on my Spotify's playlist that I would love to play with an amazing band. We were thinking, okay, what song is going to best serve the vision of Downpour? What songs do these guys know? Okay, they know these songs. Okay, let's try to pull from around here. But then, okay, maybe there are some songs that they don't know yet, but we can introduce to them that they might be able to catch on, and then, so that's sort of the process. So I guess maybe the quick answer to that is that, it's when you're choosing songs in a worship context, it's not about you, but it's about you trying to serve the vision in the house of wherever you're. Yeah.
And my second one was, how does Mosh Pit make you feel, and what are your thoughts on Mosh Pit?
We love it. We love it.
What's on the mosh pit?
Come on.
Like when you see everybody dance around in front of you, like what are your thoughts? And like
Joel, you gotta join.
Makes me happy.
Makes you happy.
I think it's really cool. I think it's so fun. Like, you guys having the best time. And then seeing you guys from up there too, it's just so cool to see. And then when we were worshipping too, and it's just it's so cool.
Yeah, I come from a Mosh church too, so for me, like, everyone expresses their worship differently, and I think it's cool that you guys can give your praise to Jesus and worship Jesus in a way that you can express it in that way by jumping up and down in the mosh pit. It's not for everyone, but if that's how you're going to worship God and praise God, awesome. We love it. We love it, seriously. But also, if you don't mosh, that's also okay, you know? Yeah. What was your question? This is our final question, and then if you have any other questions, you can come chat to us after, okay? What was your question?
So this is kind of for all of you who have made the placements. I'm a drummer and I started singing with so when you guys practice, like how often do you do that? I don't do that very often. Should I do that more often?
Yeah, definitely. Practice as much as you can. I think I said earlier, yeah, just practice as much as you can. Just makes you so much more confident. And then before a set, we come here like an hour before, go through the songs and stuff, and make sure we're confident in it, and make sure we got the parts right, and the transitions and everything like that. So yeah, I think you should definitely practice more, and do your rudiments too. I don't do them, but yeah.
Do what I say, not what I do. Yeah, practice is so important, guys. The way that we have been able to grow our skills is by pouring hours and hours into practice. Like, this hasn't just come by me playing. The amount of hours I've spent on that thing, dude, like if I was a learner driver, I'd have multiple PE license by now, honestly, like. But I even remember and I practice more if I'm MDing too, actually. I will sit there and keep playing the song over and over and over again until I'm really, really confident with it. And I remember my first Downpour, I wasn't as experienced as I am now. And I was probably practicing, I probably put at least 30 hours of practice into the first Downpour set, to be honest. Doesn't mean you have to, but at least if you're like, maybe if you're on your worship team and you're playing on a Sunday, practice your set. This goes for singers too. Practice your harmonies. If you're worship leading, practice the song. Learn the little parts, the little different rhythms that you're singing too. But maybe you're not on team yet and you don't know what to practice. Just start learning some songs. And the cool thing about practice too is that you can worship God in your practice. Just because you're at home alone in your room doesn't mean it's not worship. It's still worship. So yeah, Joel, what would you do today?
And even like for your vocals and stuff like that, I know like when you're talking about practice, it might be easier to sing like that to instruments. Like your vocals are also an instrument. Your vocals are an instrument. So like encouragement, if you can find a really good singing coach, like sign up as soon as you can. I hadn't done it for ages, and I was just just sing. Yeah, I'm just singing, you know. And then my worship pastor got me plugged into a vocal coach, and like I had like maybe about like 2 or 3 lessons. And after that, my worship pastor's like, "You need to do that some more, man. You sound way better." And I was like, I thought I sounded pretty good before. He was like, nah, you're way better now. So like, that was a bit harsh. But we were in a relationship, so it wasn't bad. But yeah, like vocals, like, and if there's no vocal coach in the area, like, there's the internet. Like, there's amazing things you can find. Just have a research, find some stuff that will get you a good course. But yeah, get some singing lessons. It makes a big difference.
Awesome. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
You guys think that? I'm really glad.